These are all of the players from Top Trump's NBA All-Stars for the 3DS. The Boston Celtics players are Ray Allen, Avery Bradley, Glenn Davis, Kevin Garnett, Jermaine O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal, Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, Von Wafer, Delonte West, Troy Murphy, Jeff Green, Nenad Krstić, Carlos Arroyo. The players on the New Jersey Nets are Jordan Farmar, Chris Humphries, Damian James, Brooke Lopez, Anthony Morrow, Travis Outlaw, Johan Petro, Ben Uzo, Sacha Vujacic, Dan Gadzuric, Darren Williams. The players on the New York Knicks are Tony Douglas, Landry Fields, Roger Mason Jr., Andy Routens, Amari Stoudemire, Ronnie Turiaf, Bill Walker, Sean Williams, Carmelo Anthony, Ronaldo Balkman, Chauncey Billups, Anthony Carter, Sheldon Williams, Jared Jeffries. The players on the Philadelphia 76ers are Tony Batty, Craig Brackens, Elton Brand, Spencer Hawes, Drew Holiday, Andre Iguodala, Jason Capono, Jody Meeks, Andres Nocioni, Darius Songalia, Maurice Spates, Evan Turner, Lewis Williams, Thaddeus Young. The players on the Toronto Raptors are Solomon Alabi, Alexei Ajanka, Jared Bayless, Leandro Barbosa, Andrea Bargnani, Jose Calderon, Ed Davis, DeMar DeRozan, Joey Dorsey, Reggie Evans, Amir Johnson, Linus Kleiza, Sonny Weems, Julian Wright, James Johnson. The players on the Chicago Bulls are Omar Essick, Keith Bogans, Carlos Boozer, Ronnie Brewer, Luol Deng, Taj Gibson, Kyle Korver, Joakim Noah, Derrick Rose, Brian Scalabrine, Kurt Thomas, CJ Watson, Rashul Butler, Corey Brewer, the players in the Cleveland Cavaliers are Christian Agna, Daniel Gibson, Manny Harris, J.J. Hickson, Ryan Hollins, Anton Jameson, Anthony Parker, Ramon Sessions, Anderson Varejao, Samith Erden, Luke Harangati, Baron Davis, Stephen Graham, Devin Harris, Omri Caspi. The players on the Detroit Pistons are Will Bynum, Austin Day, Ben Gordon, Richard Hamilton, Jonas Jerebko, Jason Maxiell, Tracy McGrady, Greg Monroe, Tayshaun Prince, Rodney Stuckey, DeJuan Summers, Charlie Villanueva, Ben Wallace, Tariqa White, Chris Wilcox, Darren Collison. The players on the Indiana Pacers are Darren Collison, Mike Dunleavy, TJ Ford, Jeff Foster, Paul George, Danny Granger, Tyler Hansbrough, Roy Hibbert, Dante Jones, Solomon Jones, Josh McRoberts, James Posey, AJ Price, Brandon Rush, George Hill. The players on the Milwaukee Bucks are Andrew Bogut, Earl Boykins, John Brockman, Carlos Delfino, Keon Dooling, C. Douglas Roberts, Drew Gooden, Ersan Ilyasova, Brandon Jennings, Luke Mba Amut, Michael Redd, Larry Sanders, Steven Jackson, Sean Livingston, Beno Udre. The players on the Atlanta Hawks are Jason Collins, Jamal Crawford, Jordan Crawford, Damian Wilkins, Al Horford, Joe Johnson, Zaza Pachulia, Josh Powell, Josh Smith, Jeff Teague, Eton Thomas, Marvin Williams, Wesley Johnson, Hilton Armstrong, Kirk Heinrich. The players on the Charlotte Bobcats are DJ Augustine, Derek Brown, Kwame Brown, Matt Carroll, Boris Diaw, Desanya Dope, Dominic McGuire, Eduardo Najera, Tyrus Thomas, Corey Maggette, Garrett Temple, DJ White, Dante Cunningham, Joe Prezzibilia, Carl Landry. The players in the Miami Heat are Joel Anthony, Chris Bosh, Mario Chalmers, Udonis Haslem, Eddie House, Juwan Howard, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, LeBron James, James Jones, Jamal Magloire, Mike Miller, Dexter Pittman, Dwayne Wade, Mike Bibby. The players on the Orlando Magic are Malik Allen, Ryan Anderson, Brandon Bass, Gilbert Arenas, Chris Duhon, Earl Clark, Dwight Howard, Hedo Turkoglu, Jameer Nelson, Daniel Orton, Jason Richardson, Jace J. Reddick, Quentin Richardson. The players on the Washington Wizards are Yi Jianlian, Andre Blatch, Trevor Booker, Josh Howard, Rashard Lewis, JaVale McGee, Hamadi Ndiaye, Kevin Seraphin, John Wall, Nick Young, Maurice Evans. The players on the Denver Nuggets are Aaron Afalo, Chris Anderson, Melvin Ely, Gary Forbes, Al Harrington, Ty Lawson, Kenyon Martin, Nene, J.R. Smith, Costa Koufos, Wilson Chandler, Danilo Gallinari, Timofey Mozgov, Andre Miller. The players on the Minnesota Timberwolves are Michael Beasley, Wayne Ellington, Laser Hayward, Kevin Love, Darko Milicic, Nikola Pekovic, Luke Ridnour, Sebastian Telfair, Anthony Tolivier, Martell Webster, Brad Miller, Anthony Randolph. The players on the Oklahoma City Thunder are Cole Aldrich, Nick Collison, Daquan Cook, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, Royal Ivy, Eric Maynor, Byron Mullins, Thabo Sefolosha, Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Perkins, Nate Robinson, Nazir Mohammed. The players on the Portland Trail Blazers are LaMarcus Aldridge, Luke Babbitt, Nicolas Batum, Marcus Camby, Armand Johnson, Wesley Matthews, Patrick Mills, Greg Oden, Brandon Roy, Elliot Williams, Gerald Wallace, Raymond Felton. The players on the Utah Jazz are Raja Bell, Francisco Elson, Jeremy Evans, Kyril Fesenko, Gordon Hayward, Al Jefferson, Andre Kurylenko, CJ Miles, Paul Millsap, Mehmet Okur, Ronnie Price, Earl Watson, Derek Favors. The players on the Golden State Warriors are Louis Admonson, Charlie Bell, Andres Biedrins, AC Law, Stephen Curry, Monta Ellis, David Lee, Jeremy Lin, Vladimir Radmanovich, Ekpe Udo, Reggie Williams, Brandon Wright, Darrell Wright, Al Thornton. The players on the LA Clippers are Al-Farouq Aminu, Eric Bledsoe, Ike Diogo, Brian Cook, Randy Foye, Ryan Gomes, Eric Gordon, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Chris Kaman, Craig Smith, Willie Warren, Jamario Moon, Mo Williams. The players on the Los Angeles Lakers are Ron Artest, Matt Barnes, Steve Blake, Shannon Brown, Kobe Bryant, Andrew Bynum, Derek Carter, Devin Ebanks, Derek Fisher, Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Theo Ratliff, Joe Smith, Luke Walton, Trey Johnson. The players on the Phoenix Suns are Josh Childress, Vince Carter, Jared Dudley, Channing Frye, Grant Hill, Michael Pietrus, Gani Lowell, Robin Lopez, Steve Nash, Marcin Gortat, Garrett Styler, Zabian Dowdell, Hakeem Warwick, Aaron Brooks, the players on the Sacramento Kings are DeMarcus Cousins, Samuel Dellenbear, Tyreek Evans, Francisco Garcia, Dante Green, Darnell Jackson, Eugene Jeter, Jason Thompson, Hassan Whiteside, Jermaine Taylor, John Selmans, Marcus Thornton. The players on the Dallas Mavericks are Jose Barria, Rodrigue Bebois, Caron Butler, Brian Cardinal, Tyson Chandler, Brendan Haywood, Dominique Jones, Jason Kidd, Jan Mahimi, Sean Marion, Peja Stojakovic, Dirk Nowitzki, Deshaun Stevenson, Jason Terry, Rudy Fernandez. The players on the Houston Rockets are Chase Budinger, Chuck Hayes, Jordan Hill, Courtney Lee, Kyle Lowry, Kevin Martin, Patrick Patterson, Louis Scola, Hashim Thabit, Johnny Flynn, Goran Dragic. The players on the Memphis Grizzlies are Tony Allen, Darrell Arthur, DeMar Carroll, Mike Conley, Mark Gasol, Rudy Gay, Hamed Haddadi, Xavier Henry, OJ Mayo, Zach Randolph, Gravius Vasquez, Sam Young, Leon Powell, Shane Battier, Ishmael Smith. The players on the New Orleans Hornets are David Anderson, Trevor Ariza, Marcus Banks, Mario Bellinelli, Aaron Gray, Willie Green, Didier Ilunga Mbenga, Jarrett Jack, Emeka Okafor, Chris Paul, Quincy Pondexter, Jason Smith, David West. The players on the San Antonio Spurs are James Anderson, DeJuan Blair, Matt Bonner, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Richard Jefferson, Antonio McDyess, Gary Neal, Tony Parker, Tiago Splitter, and finally Chris Quinn.